All right, I'm going to, I am sharing already. Let me go into the presentation. Can I start with the presentation, Prof?
Maybe we can make a short introduction from our side.
Yes, yeah.
So that you know who is in the meeting. So, well, I've already introduced myself. I mean, you have introduced me. So I'll ask the others, Nordino and Prof. Clemencio, I think was here. I don't know if still there from our side.
Yes, perfect. All right, well, I'll introduce myself very quickly. I have met you before, Prof, many, many years ago, and I had shorter hair and not a beard, so I probably look quite different from then. Yeah, my name's...
We're all growing up, getting old. Let me put my video. So I'm driving to the office. So for the first part of the meeting, I'll be in the car, but I'll soon arrive. Okay,
perfect. All right, that's great. So from my side of things, I'm a director at EcoSource Insight, hydrologist by occupation and one of the technical directors. I'll be project managing and leading this particular project. Two of the team members that will contribute to this three of the team members are on the call at the moment. So Sayuri is a junior hydrologist. So she'll be helping us and assisting us with a lot of the setups and applications associated with the setup related to that. Kevin Greaves is an agricultural engineer and a water resources engineer, and he'll be assisting us on various elements related to the Basin's configuration and particularly some of the operating elements associated with that. Cornelia Hall is our office administrator, so she'll be handling most of the day-to-day coordination activities and making sure that the rest of us stay on track with our various commitments, etc. So I don't know, Kev, you want to just show yourself quickly on video and just introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Jason. It's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm excited about the prospect of this project. Working with you, thank you.
Yeah, excellent. Sayuri, can you do something similar?
Morning, everyone. Great to meet everyone as well, and I look forward to contributing to this project too. Thank you.
Fantastic. And then Cornelia, I don't know whether you got video, but yeah, maybe you can just introduce yourself to everybody.
Sorry, I'm on my big screen, so I don't have a camera on it. Apologies.
Okay, yeah.
I'll do it next time.
Okay, great. All right, so that's the project team with that will be involved in the project. All right. Are you happy for me to move on to the presentation, Dr. Juza or Professor Juza?
Sure, no problem. You can call me Dennis if you like. That's not a problem. That's an academic title. I don't fancy. But anyway, okay. the team from our side, you see Nordino there. Nordin is a civil engineer and a very experienced modeler. We've been doing quite some modeling in other platforms using other softwares as well. I think I mentioned some of them recently to you. So that will be the hands-on also guy for us in the team. Just to put you in context for the rest of the team, we are going to do this project in two platforms. One is the Hex suite, and then we're going to do it in Mike suite. I mean, I don't have to explain the reason why the client wanted us to do double job on the same, but anyway, that's how the business is. And then we have Prof. Clemencio. Prof. Clemencio, his background is in chemical engineer, but he has been studying for his master's and PhD in civil engineering, and he's been working in my teams also quite a lot. So he's a trained hydrologist, I would say, water source manager par. In this case, we'll also be helping with some of the coordination in case I'm not available. He's been pulling the team and also assisting in running most of the let's say, day-to-day operations, to make sure that we stay on track. But maybe they can show their faces if they can. I mean, I don't know where each of them is sitting at. Okay.
Good morning. Clemens here. I think Prof is introduced me. Yeah. Thank you. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Clemens. Nordina, are you able to show yourself, or you all right, so I'll move on then to the presentation itself. So hopefully you can all see my screen. I'm not sure whether you can see my screen, Dr. Jiza, on your side.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right. All right.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what's happening with my camera, but also for me, Professor Dinesh have introduced me, so it's all.
Okay.
I just want to say hi, but I don't know how I cannot use my camera, but it's okay. If it's possible, we can do it later.
Okay. Well, thanks, Nordina. Thank you. All right, great. Let's switch my camera off and I'll take you into the presentation. All right, this is the kickoff meeting. We prepped some notes for it, so we'll just go through those. Agenda, welcome and introductions we've done. I'm just going to go through very quickly the project overview, discuss project objectives, go through kind of the methodology, project schedule and timelines. You can discuss documents and deliverables, discuss some information requirements, and then discuss project risks, areas of concern, and close the meeting. Now, I put these things together because, just to get things on the go and to get on top of just the original sort of schedules, etc., and just discuss various things with you. So nothing in this particular presentation is set in stone. It's just our sort of ideas on the way to take things forward, and we welcome your sort of contributions and inputs. We're quite happy to review and change things as we discuss them. Welcome and introductions we've done. So project overview. This is taken from the catchment itself. So evaluate water demands in Umbuluzi and Nkomati catchments, including an evaluation of future growth scenarios, limited to the needs for the modeling tasks. Develop methodologies, tools for water allocation applicable within the context of management practices, regulations and laws in Mozambique. Develop a proposal for the regime of water restrictions and rules and their activation and suspension based on water status in the water resources themselves in the basin. Configure operational models to assist in decision-making regarding water allocations. Set up water allocation models observed in the main reservoirs of the Nkomati and Umbuluzi Basin, and develop decision criteria to prioritizing water allocations in each basin during the situations of extreme water scarcity. So those are the main factors associated with the project overview elements. These ones as well: propose mechanism for stakeholder participation and decision making regarding water allocations in each dry season. Train technicians in basin management, division of Arasul headquarters, and formulating allocation problems to be introduced in the model and interpreting data and decision making. And then stakeholder participation mechanisms, decision making regarding water allocations, which I think is more falling on the shoulders of the university rather than ourselves, but I just included that in there. From our perspective, we've developed these project objectives. So develop a water allocation model for Arasul in collaboration with the university. provide software training and technical support for sustainable water resources management, enable real-time decision-making and long-term planning for river basin operations, configure the Mbaluzi and Nkomati basins, including shared catchments within South Africa and Eswatini, and establish mentorship and support framework for ongoing model use and adaptation.
Sorry, Jason.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody can't see the, and I think Nordino can't see the presentation. I'm not sure why.
Sorry. Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure. I'll stop sharing and reshare. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, sorry, I can't see. Okay, I will send you through the presentation on afterwards, so you can have a look at it there. So, okay, let me just share again. Maybe it's something that'll happen.
So it's Clemencio that's having the problem. Sorry, not Nordino.
Okay, Clemencio.
But
Okay,
he'll leave the meeting and join back on and see if it helps.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, are we happy with those?
Now I can see. Thank you.
Okay, great. But are we happy with those project objectives? Does that fit in with your expectations from us? Okay, I'm going to take the silence as a yes and move on to the next section. All right, sorry. I see that I've put it into 3 phases. It's actually 4 phases. Let me just change that so I don't have it wrong, because I added in an inception phase. All right, so the scope of work is broken down into 4 phases. Those phases are as follows: the inception phase, model configuration, training and mentorship, and then software licensing and support. In terms of the inception phase of the project is crucial first stage, where ourselves, EcoSource Insights, and the Centre for Engineering Studies at the university need to align on fundamental needs, scope, and approach. And the purpose of this phase is to define the problem, establish feasibility, and secure a formal agreement to proceed with the detailed plan. So it starts off with the kickoff meeting. We'll refine the scope of work and deliverables and refine the project work plan and project timing. So in terms of the kickoff meeting, the key thing is to set up communication channels, agree on who the university's contact and project management people are, establish initial work program timings and outcomes, and to introduce you to the EcoSource Insight project team. So we're doing that at the moment. That's what we're involved in. In terms of the model configurations for the Nkomati and Mbaluzi basins, sorry, these are not particularly exciting slides. They're usually a little bit more exciting, but just we have quite enough time to put them together. When we're running through these, we're going to go through data collection. So the data collection will be collection of all the data associated with the modeling in these different areas. That generally focuses on climate data collection, land use data collection, and then various hydrological data such as your flows and those types of things in the different areas, size of dams, infrastructure information, those types of things. So that data collection phase is quite important. Then we'll configure the rainfall runoff modeling. So that's generating the rainfall runoff modeling and calibrating that model. We configure the water users at the same time. And then we run through model calibration. Then there's the setting of the operating rules and then developing various water allocation strategies where we can use the model to test some of those and then decide on the different rules associated with those. We have training and mentorship. So the suggestion is that we wait until the initial model configuration has been performed, and the training can be done on existing system setup. So once we've got the initial models configured for the Mkomati and Umbuluzi, is that you then undertake the training. We'll do a 5-day training course with university students and staff, as well as our RSUL staff I'm gathering. We'll cover the model interface, time series input, catchment configurations, operating rules, river routing, those types of things. And it will include tailored mentorship and for the local conditions. During the course of the project, we'll also continue to include people and do mentorship. And the idea from our perspective, and hopefully it aligns with you, is that we include you in model configuration tasks and stuff like that, so that we can do the development of these models together. Software licensing and setup. The Mark Hydro Basins platform will be purchased for the system, and it is recommended that that purchase be done after the initial training has taken place in early 2026, so that you get the major sort of benefits from that. So we're recommending that we just delay that until we've already kind of set everything up, because we don't need to purchase the model from our side. And then once we've done that, then we can be ready to run that. And that gives you the maximum sort of time period to have the model available for use, and you can start to use it immediately once you get it. There is a provision for 2 weeks of a year over the next 5 years for continued assistance with model updates and troubleshooting. So once we've finished the initial part of the project, which is setting up the systems and getting everything in place, we would then provide you with around about 2 weeks of additional support, and that can be assisting with configurations, additional sort of training and information tasks, those types of things. So that is available, and we've kept that in there because it makes sure that it's sustainable for at least a 5-year period. Please stop me if you have any questions. I can't see anybody's hands raised or anything, so just let me know, because in presentation mode I can't see any hands and stuff. We have made some assumptions in this particular project. So data availability.
So Jason,
Yes, yeah.
Jason, if I can take that opportunity that you now open for a few questions.
Yes.
Just a clarification in terms of sequence of setups. Are you setting up the model as lumped, like has one model, both the allocation model and hydrological model? You are going to be in 2 steps, separate steps.
We'll do. Okay, so I think that's in the project scheduling, and I was going to discuss that with you.
Okay, okay, it's fine. We can discuss when you get there.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. All right, you can pick that up then. All right. Let's just get this back online. All right, we've made some assumptions related to the modeling. So the project has made no allowance for purchase of information. Only freely available information will be used for the setup and running of the model. And there's several reasons for this. There's no guarantee that future available funding will be available to support data purchases. So that way, if we use free, readily available information, we should be better off related to that. The information needs to be easily accessible to the team and consistent over the project period. So a lot of the satellite information and these types of things are available for the entire area. They're consistent and they can easily be accessed. Maintenance of facilities and support for the information would be required if you are purchasing information and securing it. So you need to then collect it and make sure that those things are in place. So that's why choosing existing structures where the information is available are pretty important, and the information access needs to be sustainable related to that. So that's the one assumption that we've made. Second assumption is staff availability. So the university staff and RSL staff will be available, and they will have suitable knowledge and capabilities to be able to manage and run the systems effectively. So the staff access for training support on this contract will be given priority. And once the These systems have been set up. I suppose this is particularly for Arasul, but staff functions and responsibilities will be included in the management and running of this project. So once we hand it over, there's people that have actually got a mandate to run the system and as part of their staff function. So we're assuming that will happen, because if that doesn't happen, then these systems won't run. And then IT infrastructure, there'll be suitable IT infrastructure available to manage and run these systems. The client has facilities to run and manage the systems on the project handover, ensure that they are maintained in a manner that makes them accessible to all staff as required. This includes the necessary internet access and service required. Yeah.
Okay. Just on the IT infrastructure, I think it will be good if you can send the specs, minimum specs that are required, so that we can already make plans for it.
Okay. All right. That's good. And yeah, I mean, we don't really mind whether the information is held on a remote server or an on-site server, but there does need to be access to that. So we'll send that information through to you in the next week after this discussion. Yeah. All right, so the main work items and concerns which will go into are data availability, staff availability for training and IT infrastructure. So we need to just make sure that those are in place. I'll touch on those a little bit later and we can discuss mitigation measures associated with those. Let me just go into the project timelines. So here are the project timelines that we are looking at and proposing. The inception phase we will run for 2 weeks. This is part of this inception phase. So we're already in week 1, which the 11th month is November, and we go through into other months. Yeah, just 1 sec, sorry. All right. The inception phase over here is the next 2 weeks. Then we go into data collection, and that will be for both Mkomati and Umbuluzi. So we'll set those up at the same time. And what we run over here is roughly around about a 6-week period to get the information. It might be quicker than that, but bearing in mind that we are heading towards end of year. So a lot of people, I think, are time constrained at the moment. And then I've also just put this December break period that we have. We have compulsory leave over December and then into January. So a lot of people are unavailable for those sort of 4 weeks over this sort of period over here. Once we finish the information collection, what we'll do is we'll do the rainfall runoff modeling. So that was your question, Dr. Juzo, so related to that. So what we'll look at there is doing the rainfall runoff modeling. That's generally run with a model called the RDR model, which is a model that is sort of calibrated with information. It gets certain information from things like land use, etc. But we do spend quite a lot of time calibrating the parameters against the actual river flows themselves. And that'll be done for those basins that are set up there associated with that. And what we will do is we will set up an entire basin related to that. So it'll be the Umbuluzi and the Mkomati basin set up with their components in both Mozambique and South Africa. We will then go on to configuring the water users and other infrastructure related to that. We'll use the information that we have got on some of the upstream dams in South Africa, but we don't really have much control over their operating rules and stuff like that. So we'll try and replicate what they're doing. And I think there is data available for their releases, etc. So we can use that in the model calibration. But straight after this particular rainfall runoff modeling configuration over here, we will enter into the first initial training course. We'll have a 5-day training on that, and then we'll use some of these models to actually set up and show you how to run operations and configuring water users and allocations and stuff like that. We'll also run the software purchase at that phase to get the software available to everybody, and then the configuration of water users, operating rules, and development of sort of allocations will all follow on from that, and I think that'll be done in collaboration with you. So we're looking at finishing this around about June, July next year, and then there's obviously that ongoing support and phase from there onwards. So that's the initial schedule put forward, and I don't know whether you've got any sort of comments related to that, whether those are within your timelines.
So thank you, Johnson. Yeah, that's quite clear. I think we have delayed significantly the starting of entering into contract review, and the reason was administrative problems of the client. I think I explained to that. We had a contract with them. We have a contract with them since I cannot remember from top of my head, but since the beginning of the year.
Okay.
But then they've had some issue because we submitted our inception report already in April, if I recall well. But then
Okay.
they faced serious problems in transferring the resources to the university because they had used the wrong university account. So the university has I don't know how many accounts, but there are many. And someone made a mistake, and that to reverse that mistake took a very long time. So, now that they've corrected the mistake, they're putting a lot of pressure on us. We're managing that pressure, but the issue is that they have a funder, which is the World Bank, and they don't want to be exposed that they've made a mistake, and the mistake is costing time. This caused the delay of the project. So we're managing that sensitivity. What that means is, by all means, if we can anticipate some of the deliverables, or we can make some adjustments in the type of deliverables so that we can show that we are making progress, that would help. I don't mind the overall duration of the program of timeline as you put it towards the end of, I don't know, 2020, 2050. Which year is this? But that's not a problem. What we will need to do, if possible, is to see if we can conclude the modeling by let's say end of March, April max, thereabout.
I need to understand that from you. So you're suggesting a compressed timeline for end of March. So end of March would be the 3rd over here, and we were looking at to end on the 7th.
Yeah, or somewhere in April. Okay, I'm saying this while I recognize might not be possible. So I'm working also with the client to see how we can have it, let's say, formalized, that we need to extend our agreement with the client to say to maybe August or September. But the agreement between EcoSource and university is not affected by that, because we will have the resources university to make to meet our commitments to the contract beyond the duration of the contract, the main contract. And that's how we also you wanted it to be, that we didn't want to be linked to the main contract. But that's fine.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
If you can see what is possible. I think this is the ideal timeline. What I'm asking, or we're asking, is whether you can have an accelerated timeline. What could be there? One thing I was imagining is, for instance, is by December, together with your inception report, what you call the inception phase, inception report, if you could just have an outline, not too detailed, but to the level that can be explained to a layman of the steps that are being followed in developing the two models in your platform. That will become a deliverable that we can use to the client to say, okay, look, we have this schematic configuration. It's not yet the configuration to the two basins, because we're still working on data collection and other things. But that's from experience or from other users of these models. That's what we will envisage coming to you later on. Is that something you think we can do?
Prof, I think, yeah, what I'm going to suggest from that perspective then is that, yeah, what we'll do is we'll try and compress the timeline. But in that timeline, what we'll give you is models running, but they will not be fully calibrated and verified. So what I can do,
that's perfect.
is we'll
That's
get some,
like what I say, schematic model, a structured model that is not calibrated, that's more than enough for the first deliverable by December, let's say. While we go on break, and then let's say by mid-February we have, by end January, beginning February, we have our calibrated hydrological model, and then we start working on the other model.
yeah, I'll have to have a look at the things. I mean, we can give you a schematic model set up by the December break. I think that shouldn't be a problem. But the actual sort of more formal rainfall runoff modeling and with everything working, I would say that's probably going to be, yeah, we can probably get something for you by sort of Marchish out, but they would need to understand that that's an initial model, and then the operating rules and stuff would have to be refined over the next few months, because that will take some time. So we can have a sort of configured model that's calibrated probably by end of March, but the operating rules and those sort of changes would need to happen as a sort of stakeholder exercise, which is going to take a bit longer. And then what we can do is we can shift the training earlier, so we can put the training, if we get the initial configurations going, we can maybe shift that to early Feb. But I'll go through this and then send you through a revised project schedule related to that. Okay.
Cool. Now you can call it an alternative schedule or accelerate schedule, so that we know your committed timeline is as you show in this one, but we have asked you to consider the possibility of having an accelerated schedule.
Okay.
Then we'll try to see if it's possible to work towards that compressed one. If not, at least we stick to the one that is shown here.
Okay. Right, cool.
The other thing is that we have to bear in mind that we're also doing the same exercise with other platforms. So some of the things that you're considering that need to be collected or to be analyzed, we might already be having some part of it done as part of the other exercise. So you will be building on top of that. So that's something that can maybe help to accelerate some of the tasks.
Okay. No, that's good. That's good news to know that. All right, excellent. Right. So then like some of the data collection, etc., might already have been done. So that might be able us to shorten this. That's great. Okay. That's cool. All right. Yeah, then from a data availability perspective, I mean, obviously data availability can impact a project. I haven't put the impacts in here. I'll discuss those with you. But our mitigation over here is just using existing data that is available. So I think we can manage that by ensuring that the information that we're using is accessible from global satellite data, etc. And then where we've got data that's available from RSL and Department of Water and Sanitation in South Africa, we'll use that. Staff availability, I'm not really sure how to address that. The impact on the project can be quite considerable if there's no staff available to work on the actual projects, and that's from not from our side, but potentially from client side and RSL side, if there's and the university side. So hopefully your staff are available and can work on the project as much as possible. IT infrastructure, what we've done in, sorry, carry on, yeah.
No, I just wanted to say that from university side, we have many people. I mean, we only have 2 here represented, but we have more people involved. Actually, as we speak, there is a team that is in the field doing data collection. Let's say,
Excellent.
interacting with stakeholders and so on.
Okay.
And they're doing it together with RS2 staff. So they're in a kind of a team mix of people from the university and from RSU. Now on modeling side, yes, I agree that they might have some limitations. They have some people. I don't know if with training they can come up to acceptable level. We've done already pre-training on both hydrological modeling and water location modeling. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. When was it, Clemens? 2, 3 weeks ago? I don't recall precisely. But we have done that training. But I mean, these people have been.
3 weeks ago.
I remember during the training, one of my presentations was from the same training I did in 2010, I think 2010 or 11. So, but okay, they're not. It's not the same people, but the same institutions asking now and again for the same type of training.
No, that's fun. So we'll spend time obviously training everybody. 5 days is quite a considerable thing. We've already got certain training material available, but we want to make it specific for your area, obviously. IT infrastructure, we'll send you through the specifications related to that. Our own sort of preference or elements related to this is actually to quite often have the IT infrastructure set up on the cloud, because it makes it universally accessible for everybody, and it can be easily maintained, and you're not having to rely on government and those types of resources to maintain it and run it. But I don't know, I need to just get that sort of feeling from your sort of side, because quite often the state-run entities, etc., don't like the cloud computing because they want it running on their own infrastructure. But in general, we find it much more stable if we can actually just use cloud computing.
We can see if something that we can buy for them, a cloud space for the duration of the license. But that becomes problematic because when the license expires, although you can still have the model running, you will not have. But maybe we have to consider both options.
Okay.
That would be the most preferable.
Okay, so maybe what we can do is have cloud computing running for during the contract setup phases, etc., because then it's easier to accessible, and then we can transfer it onto asset infrastructure that's locally available.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, cool. I'm happy with that. All right, great. All right, well, that covers everything I needed to discuss. I think I've got an idea of where you're sitting with these particular projects. Yeah, is there any sort of general discussions or anything from your side that you would like to take further?
Nordino, Clemencio, please
Yeah.
come.
No, I think it's clear now. The only issue I think Prof raised was it's the way how to make things fit together, because we have issues with contract with the Arasul, and it's like maybe it's time now for us. I don't know. Yeah, but we will discuss that with Prof because we got an agreement. It's not nothing to it. So.
Yes, nothing from my side, so I'm clear for now.
Right, cool. Right, and then Dr. Yusa, I think the only other thing from my side is from finances perspective, we have sent through an invoice, and I think once we've completed the inception report, yeah, I mean, we just kind of like to make sure that cash flows are continuing on these projects, because we've had in previous years had problems with cash flow from places like Mozambique and Angola. So I just want to make sure that that's kind of all right, because we don't want to spend too much time and resources on applications and then not get paid afterwards. So I just want to touch on that and just verify that you're sort of happy with those sort of arrangements, and we'd prefer to do work where we've got money in the sort of available, that we know that we've already sort of got it. We're not going to overextend ourselves on various things without getting sort of remuneration related to that. I'll
I
take
missed
that
the
up.
issue of the. I mean, your invoice is being processed, the one that you have submitted.
Okay, great.
We of course, I think last year, for the past 2 years, there were some issues with paying for international transfers, payments.
Okay.
Things have improved. We used to face considerable delays, but I think that has come down to maximum of 2 months, or something like that. But
Okay.
the truth is that it's possible to pay abroad again.
Okay, cool. All right, well, that's good news. Okay. Thank you. All right, well, that covers everything from my perspective. I'm happy to sign off and conclude the meeting. I don't know whether you're happy to do so.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Jensen. Maybe we should say something about the next meeting. I don't know when you think it will be productive to meet again.
Yeah, I think that's good. Good idea. Well, I think we need to send you through a inception report. So I would say inception probably midweek on the 19th. And so also Wednesday, the 19th of
Sorry, Jason.
yes,
When
yeah.
is your conference?
Shibas, thank you. That's why I have you there. All right, I think yeah, that's going to be during the conference. So maybe we can discuss. I've got an advisory board meeting on the 18th. I'm not going to be able to run that. Maybe the 24th, the Monday there, or maybe Tuesday, if we're busy on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
No, for me, it's fine, either date.
Okay.
Maybe we can make a preliminary booking. I don't know. I would say this time is fine.
Okay. All right. So 11 o'clock on Tuesday, 25th. How's that?
20, sorry.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's good. Cornelia, will you set that up, please? And then, yes, we'll send out minutes to this meeting, and we'll try to get inception sort of report to you guys by the 17th, 18th. Cool.
I will set up the meeting.
Okay, thanks, Cornelia.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks very much. All right, cheerio.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everyone.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right,
Cheers,
bye bye. Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers,
Bye.
bye-bye.